Hey you! Okay, in a previous video, I explained how it's possible to get your hands on some Bitcoin using an exchange. And a lot of you actually asked me, well, is an exchange the only way that you can get your hands on some Bitcoin? And obviously the answer to that question is no. And so today I thought I'd be going through some of the steps or some of the methods in which you can get your hands on some of the Bitcoin. I'm only going to cover the surface of these topics. And in future videos, I'm actually going to be going into depth to cover them in greater detail. So let's get right into it. So the first method in getting your hands on some Bitcoin is to mine it. You can actually use something as simple as a Raspberry Pi, and you can work your way all the way up to using some heavy duty equipment. The aim of the game here is to get heavy duty equipment with very cheap electricity to confirm transactions at the fastest rate possible. The next way to get your hands on some Bitcoin is to earn it. You can either sell goods and services, but you can also actually have a conversation with your organization and request that you actually get paid in Bitcoin. Now, they may not opt into this option. There's a lot of overhead that they have to go through and a lot of hurdles that they have to jump through in order as well to process Bitcoin payments. But if your company is forward thinking and ready to accept the future, then maybe this is a conversation that you want to have with them to allow for some of your salary. It doesn't have to be your entire salary. It could be just 1 or 2%, or it could be your entire salary. But even if your company doesn't want to pay you in Bitcoin, you can use the Strike app, which is currently US based, but it will eventually become international. Referral link in the description below to automatically convert some of your salary directly into Bitcoin. Now, I covered in my previous video how to buy Bitcoin using an exchange, but there are other methods in which you can actually buy Bitcoin. I will cover them a little bit later in this video. The other way that you can actually earn Bitcoin is through reward programs. Now, every country is going to be different. Find out which company is offering reward programs in your local area. An example in the US is lolly.com. Referral link in the description below. You can use lolly.com to make just regular purchases. A percentage of the payment will be paid to you as a reward in Bitcoin. Now for the bad methods in which you can get your hands on some Bitcoin. Number one, hacking it. Now I've also got question marks at the end of it because in a future video, I'm going to describe why this is actually completely infeasible. So even though it's theoretically possible to hack a wallet, you would need all of the world's current computing power for 1 trillion years and may not be able to still hack an address. That is how difficult it is to hack it. So even though it's theoretically possible, it's just not worth it. And finally, we have stealing it. But in a future video, I'm going to be going through some of the steps to secure your Bitcoin to make this also infeasible. Now, just quickly going back to buying it, there's actually 3 main options of which you can actually buy it. The first method is to purchase Bitcoin over the counter. These are usually organizations that allow you a little bit more privacy, but usually expect you to purchase a lot more Bitcoin than the average person, usually with a minimum of about $100,000. So unless you have $100,000 lying around, this is probably not the method for you. Also, depending on your country, there may be some regulations that actually prohibit this. So this is probably not for your average person. The other method to purchase Bitcoin is through peer-to-peer. Now, some individuals may want to offload some of their Bitcoin. Not me. I want to hang on to it for as long as possible. But there may be some individuals that want to actually offload their Bitcoin, and rather actually selling it back to the exchange, you can actually find somebody who's willing to sell their Bitcoin and make an exchange directly with them. So if they're willing to accept your currency or whatever it is that they're willing to trade in, then you can make the exchange with them directly. And finally, we have the exchange, which I covered in a previous video. That's what I have for you today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you think I've missed anything out. My name is Greg, and I guess I will see you around.